We are back here in San Francisco, live from Studio B for our Friday show this week, show number 934. Co-host Julia Vedekant is, as usual, in her chair, in good shape. I trust you're well.
I am.
I'm your host, Tom Eamon, and checking in already in the chat, Clark Chapin from Michigan. John Emmett over in the UK is driving. Blake Sale, nice to have Blake Middleton back up in the land of 10,000 lakes as we wrap up our intro video with the 12 meters. That was produced with the support of Gary Jobson and the International 12 Meter Association. We appreciate that very much as we get to the starting line for today's show, Julia. Happy Friday and happy World Just Chill, Bro Day.
Wow.
Huh?
Yeah.
You looking askance at that. Just chill, bro.
Yeah.
Hot fun in the summertime. Remember that song?
Yes.
Europe's, there should be an apostrophe in there, Europe's Omega Heat Wave. We'll have details on that. It's been hot.
I was there one summer and it was like that.
Well, I lived there for 20 years, so I had a lot of hot times in Germany and Spain. Not so often in Germany. Alistair Murray, he's back, and we got a follow-up from the Taser Worlds that we ran on Tuesday, and he has done 2 interviews that are just adorable, and we stuck them in the show today. In the A block, in fact. Or
good.
In the B block.
I love his interviews.
Bravo Zulu to the overall winners in the Newport Bermuda race, both in the open division and the St. David's Light non-pro division. We'll bring you that. Mm-hmm. John Emmett's got a brief but poignant coaching corner about being honest about viewership data. Mm-hmm. And he's not talking about us, but other events, maybe, good or bad, and trying to be honest about that. Mm-hmm. I will ask our viewers, especially our Fozy, if it's correct or croutonic that the IOC has scrapped 130 years of tradition and is paying $10,000 to each athlete, starting with the previous Olympics, the Winter Olympics.
I saw that.
So that's an interesting change from the amateur and then the shamateur years, and now they're paying athletes themselves. Correct or croutonic. Mm-hmm. We're featuring Morgan Pinckney's Team USA win at the Youth Match Racing Worlds yesterday. Plus, we're going to do some follow-up with the Gov Cup coming up in a month's time down in Newport Beach, and also the Rose Cup, which is going on this weekend, Julia.
Oh, is it?
It's going on as we speak, although there is no wind. We have a report. And there is no wind on Long Island Sound at Oak Cliff for the moment. AC 38 Cup date, a brief look at Luna Rosa, who've been back sailing their remodeled AC 75 for 3 or 4 days. And pardon me, Julia, you can give a finger wag if you want. GBR's, Team GBR's Bagnoli erection. I couldn't help myself. Wait till you see the picture of their base being built in Bagnoli, outside of Naples. The Norway team's video, The Road to Newport, they've got a segment. We've run a couple of them on here. And I so enjoy these. You will too, I think. That's their vid leading up to the New York Yacht Club September Women's International Championship, previewing their team and what they're doing to get ready for it. Fabulous stuff. And of course, this day in history, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
And of course,
indeed, say it.
Our fantastic Fozy.
And who's in the chat here, Julia? I'll work from the bottom up. Chris Exley, nice to have him back. And he's Lance Burke here in the Bay Area is watching 2 World Cup 2026 games. But SI might be more interesting with France up 3-1 and Iraq down to 10 men. Ed Worley saying, so the Olympics are finally dropping the facade. Greg Phillips, we've got some cartoons from him today. He's checking in from the Gold Coast. We have a cartoon from Clay Embley. In fact, A caption contest from Clayton. Peter Stevenson, yeah, I was spoiled. Well, we're back. We've done 2 shows this week. We'll do 1 next week. I got to travel on Friday. No, we're going to do 2 next week, in fact. I'm traveling Saturday. Clark Chapin says it's good for Julie to keep that finger limbered up. You never know when she might need it.
On a second's notice, yeah.
On a second's notice, and on and on. Lots of different people checking in from around the world, as usual, for our show, which is the Sailing Illustrated Tuesday, Friday, twice a week, live. We are live. This is not recorded like a YouTube video or a podcast. It's a live web
Broadcast.
web show, yeah, that we call Yacht Racing News, Views, and Notables. That's what it's really all about here as we begin show number 934. Julia,
Yes?
what are we celebrating today? Remember I said in the show notes?
Cool off.
Chill, bro.
Chill.
What are we celebrating?
I don't
See
know.
if anybody's got it in the chat, because some of them go look at these websites where I get this stuff.
It's a refrigerator.
It is a refrigerator, and that is looks like not an apple, but what is it? Well, regardless what it is,
Yeah. Oh, it's World Refrigerator.
it's World
Refrigeration Day.
Refrigerator, no joke. And there she is. Now she's got I guess it's an apple, green apple in her hand. But it's not just about the refrigerator in your home, in your kitchen,
Yes.
because it's way beyond all of that, as Mary Jude Szymanski's checking in from Philadelphia. When considering World Refrigeration Day, the term refrigeration is used in its widest sense, considered to be the process of achieving and maintaining a required temperature below that of its surroundings. And that can be train cars, that can be trucks, it's a whole lot of air conditioning in a home, and so on. The broad definition is important because refrigeration is less about one appliance and more about a principle, moving heat from where it is not wanted to where it can be released. Cold is not created in the same way a toaster creates heat. Cold is, as you know, is the absence of heat. Instead, refrigeration systems use energy to transfer heat, typically by compressing and expanding a refrigerant fluid in a cycle that absorbs heat indoors or in a box and releases it elsewhere. And I'm sure you all know that. Lance Burke says he's replacing his refrigerator. Anyone have a brand recommendation? We can take that offline. Dawn Riley's checking in from Oyster Bay, where she says the thunderstorm has stolen their win.
Uh-oh.
And she is with Peter Taylor at the Rose Cup, and Christine Gribben is there as well. We'll have a report on
good.
all of that in a few minutes. Back on Refrigeration Day, the celebration was chosen on this day, June 26th, as a nod to the birthday of Lord Kelvin. And who was Lord Kelvin, Julia? Also known as William Thomson.
We know about the Kelvin measurement.
The Kelvin scale, exactly. Yeah. Well done. The Scotsman who was famous for his foundational work in thermodynamics and for the Kelvin scale, the absolute 0 to, I don't know how high it goes up, but it's hot. An international system for measuring absolute temperature. And here, Julia, so that you don't think poorly or any more poorly of me than you already do, is a video.
All right. Thank you.
Happy World Refrigeration Day. Celebrated on June 26th, it highlights cooling's vital role, from preserving food and medicine to indoor comfort. The day highlights the industry's focus on innovation and sustainability, the transition toward environment refrigerants and energy efficiency that are vital for environmental protection and global health. While these technologies are often invisible, they are fundamental to modern civilization. We encourage you to appreciate the engineering professionals working to keep our world cool, safe, and efficient.
Cool. Keep our world cool, especially if you're in Europe this week, Julia. It's a bit warm there.
Yes.
Everybody complains about the weather, but didn't
do anything about it.
Do anything
I know.
about it. Who was that? Mark Twain said that? Somebody said that.
Yeah.
So what about Europe? Because, we can't, all of you are cooking over there, baking. It is a bit warm. But having lived in Spain without air con in our home in Valencia for 10 years, almost 10 years, you know, you get used to it. And of course, we had a big.
It's Paris that isn't used to it.
Well, no, but I mean, there's not air conditioning in a lot of homes. We didn't have air conditioning in our house, but we had a big pool. Could hop out in the backyard and wait for the breeze to come in off the Mediterranean. That's why sea breezes are and coastal living is so valuable.
Well, but we have natural air conditioning here.
Well, here it's always cold here in San Francisco. It's, I think, 57 last night for Fahrenheit, obviously, and maybe 60 today. Oh, it was windy. Did you hear the bridge singing last night?
I didn't.
Oh,
I never hear the bridge sing.
well, you kept me awake. So what's going on in Europe? Britain, Switzerland break June temperature record as deadly heat wave grips Europe. I think it's beyond just those two nations. Temperature in Britain and Switzerland yesterday hit record highs for June as large parts of Western Europe were in the grip of a deadly summer heat wave that has killed dozens, supposedly, disrupted power supplies, and shut schools and cultural landmarks. Did you see? Oh, there it is in the next paragraph. French and British authorities warned people to adapt their daily routines to avoid overheating. And the head of the Paris police said there would be a ban on drinking alcohol in public from midday today onwards as the city's hospitals struggle to deal with patients suffering from the heat wave. I wonder why they're banning alcohol.
I don't know. Because they don't usually drink ice in it.
Well, but you know, you could put a little bit of, but why? So it's warm and not chilled.
It would add to the heat,
I guess. There is a map of the temps yesterday, and it is clearly warm. And you see up there in northwest France, it was particularly warm. Excuse me, one of our FOSI, Matt Suzuki, was keeping me posted. He lives up in that corner of France. 109 Fahrenheit. Which is plenty warm. Spain, 102 in Madrid, which is normally one of the warmest places in Europe. Not quite so bad, although this system is going to move east, they say, today and tomorrow. Yeah. Speaking of moving east, you recognize that building, Julia?
Yes.
That is in Rome.
The Colosseum.
That's the Colosseum, exactly right. Europe is on high alert as the killer heat set to move east and south. It's been plenty warm in Denmark, where they had the World Youth Match Racing Championship. It's been warm in Britain, warm in France, obviously. Germany's A2 motorway, according to Reuters, has melted in spots and buckled across several lanes. The Netherlands are on red alert as temperatures head towards 40 Celsius. London doctors report a spike in emergency calls, no surprise. Highs expected in Italy over the weekend. Ted Ryman says, we have those temperatures all the time in South Africa. We carry on as usual. Clay Embley says, growing up in Savannah in Georgia, we called those temperatures summertime, and the living is easy. Ban on drinking alcohol. Good luck with that, Clay Embley. Freezy Frisco, Tom Fishbeck, you're right. It's always chill. I don't know about you, Julia. I really like the climate here.
I know.
Sweater weather. Year-round, maybe it gets up to 1 or 2 days a year. September, it might get up to 75.
I'm a Santa Barbarian, and that means that I like the warm weather.
Well, it's a little warmer there, but it's also cool all up and down. The people think. I mean, when we moved to San Diego, I remember saying to Malin Burnham, I thought San Diego was hot, and it's not. San Diego's average daytime temperature is something like 75. Nice temperature here on Cal. That's why everybody wants to live in California, unless you're being taxed out of the state by the government. Yes. Summer temps. So here is a quick video.
It is rare for households in Europe to have air conditioning. In fact, it's only 20%. The rest of them, they come to places like this. This is the Canal Saint-Martin in Paris, which is usually off limits to swimmers, but the rules are out the door during this heat wave. They are here starting in mid-afternoon. They are jumping off the bridge. They're playing volleyball. They're lounging here. Anything to live with this unbearable heat. Now, across the country, 51 million people will now be under red alert starting tomorrow morning. That's 3/4 of the French population. Tens of thousands of people today, of households, lost power. Even in northwestern France, the asphalt was melting. It was hot today in Paris. It beat a June record. In fact, it was hotter here than in 99% of the planet.
Okay, that's an NBC report from 2 days ago, but it's still warm.
Yeah.
It's carried on. It's starting to cool. There was a bit of a frontal passage in northwestern France last evening, yesterday afternoon and evening. We'll tell you about that. But look at this, Julia. That's the Solent. That's looking, I guess, kind of north or northeast from Cowes. And you see that brown stripe? You know what that is?
Smog.
No.
Fire from?
That's what I thought it was when I saw it the first time. It's Saharan sand.
Oh.
Over the Solent.
Oh,
and
yeah,
we
I read
used
about
to
that.
we used to get that in Spain, in Valencia. We could see it, and you'd even not quite taste it. But this is up over the Solent, and that's because of this Omega weather system. That photo from our Fozy, Super Fozy Magnus, the magnificent Magnus Wheatley, yesterday, I think Tuesday, I guess, and that was part of this whole system that has pushed hot air up from North Africa and across Europe, and then in the shape of, apparently, I'll see if I can draw this with my telestrator here, but apparently it's shaped like I don't want a line like that. Can I do a pencil? I don't know how to use it. Yeah, it's shaped kind of like the Greek letter omega, and it's a little narrower at the bottom, but it's funneling this hot air up from North Africa. Hey, that's not bad.
They're not bad.
Not too bad for a crouton.
Yeah.
And it's causing this heat wave in northern and particularly northwestern Europe. An omega block is a slow-moving, high-pressure weather system that locks hot, dry air over a specific region while flanking it with cooler, wetter systems, which kind of blocks the hot stuff in the middle. It gets its name because the bent jet stream way up high on a weather map resembles the Greek letter omega. The center is a strong ridge of high pressure, often pulling heat up from North Africa, as this has been doing. Acts as the dome of the omega. This high pressure suppresses clouds, allowing uninterrupted sunshine that bakes the ground and drives temperatures over 40 Celsius in places like France and Spain. And as we say here in San Francisco, it's not so much the air that dictates how warm your apartment is up on the top floor in particular. It's the sun load. If it's a sunny day, not many, if any, clouds, you'll be a lot warmer up there. We had to put a blanket on you on Tuesday. You came down here where it's 70 degrees.
I know. I'm cold now.
My apartment at the Beach Street Yacht Club. Are you cold now?
Sure.
You look like you are, but you've got that heavy dress on. You want me to get you a blanket again? All this talk about warm weather. Well, as I mentioned a minute ago, there is our friend. He's originally from San Francisco and married to a French gal living up in the northwest corner of France. He says it's so hot. This is Matt Suzuki. It's so hot, even the devil is looking for a shade. He's a clever guy and a very good communicant for me on this show and putting the show together. Okay, so much for the weather. We're going to get to the Youth Match Racing Worlds. That's our main feature today. We'll get to that in a minute. But first, at the top of the show, we're going to run this AAAA, Alistair's awesome Aussie anecdote, follow-up on his Taser Worlds report from the other day. Just to remind you, this was in Okinawa, in Japan, obviously, 4th through the 12th, and Alistair was there sailing. They had a huge and the largest ever Taser Worlds. Great, successful event by all accounts. The Taser World Championships hosted at Okuma Private Beach and Resort in Kunigami Village in Okinawa concluded on the 12th. The championship attracted a record fleet of 117 boats from 6 countries. We told you this all on Tuesday. And despite the demanding conditions, the regatta concluded safely without any major incidents. And here are the winners. We told you about them. The Americans who were, I think Americans were first and second. The overall title was won by Dalton Bergen and his wife, I guess it's his wife, Lindsey Bergen, who prevailed in a closely contested battle at the top of the leaderboard to become the new Taser world champion. I think they're from Seattle. We have a pretty good Taser fleet up in Seattle with the McKee family, among others, are racing in the Taser fleet. Now, here is Alistair's interview with the winners.
Oh, good.
It's fun.
G'day, Tom, Julia, and all the Fozy. This is Alistair with AAAA. You know what that is?
No.
Alistair's Awesome Aussie Anecdote.
There you go.
It's for Sailing Illustrated, and I send one in every week.
All right.
It's a great show, and Tom and Julia are the hosts.
Catchy tagline.
And I have the privilege to be here with Dalton and Lindsey Bergen, who have just won the Taser Worlds here in Okinawa. Congratulations, guys.
Thank
Hey,
you.
great.
Yes, very much.
It's a great effort. So, did you, well, it's ridiculous to even ask you, did you enjoy the regatta?
I mean, we were. It was a nerve-wracking regatta the whole time through, and tiring. But yes, thoroughly enjoyed. Now it's lovely. Yeah.
Tough competition, Dalton?
No kidding, it was tough. I mean, I've never sailed a fleet this big, and over 100 boats. It's
117.
really 117 boats. It's really challenging to get off the line, and there's no back row, so there's no you just have. It's all there's no line sights because looking through the pin, it's all open ocean, so it was a challenge.
And we got a U flag together.
We did.
On the same stuff. Did you drag me forward or did I drag you forward?
We are partners in crime for sure.
Yeah. And they had their share of challenges as organisers, didn't they, with the weather particularly?
Yep, we had the typhoon that came through right before the regatta started. Luckily, none of our containers tipped over, and then a tsunami advisory on day 2 just about made me keel over. But everyone here was very calm.
Yeah.
So
Snakes, sea snakes, sharks,
Yep.
reefs that people kept hitting.
yeah, stitches from reefs. Yep,
And it never stopped raining.
it's a regatta to remember.
But we got 11 races in. It was fantastic, wasn't
Absolutely. Yep.
it? What do you think of the race organisation?
Perfect. I mean, for all things considered, yeah.
They
Excellent
were
racing.
decisive and got the racing in when they could.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the venue, think it's been good?
I mean, I hear that this is not a normal regatta venue, but we got a variety of conditions. We sailed in some big ocean swell, but it was a challenge. But yeah.
Yeah, just the big, in the little boats, the big ocean swell, just in the Taser, in the moderate area, you're just like coming in and out of the boat the whole time. Tops of the waves, it's, breeze on, troughs, you're just no wind. It was
Fantastic.
challenging.
But the venue too, I love sailing and walking to my room and walking straight into the shower,
Yeah.
walking 50 metres to breakfast, straight back to the all in one place with everybody staying together, seeing each other for the breakfast every day. It's been really good socially.
It was a
hasn't it?
good lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yep. Good
Yeah.
lifestyle regatta. Good racing. We got it all.
All right, so let's talk about the Taser. How long have you been sailing them, and what do you think of the boat?
I think it's been 22 years or 3. We've been doing it a long time together.
You're only just starting. I've been sailing them for 48 years.
I think this is our 4th Worlds, but our first one off of North America, and we just love one design sailing, and this is actually a pretty fun boat. We wouldn't even care if it was a fun boat, but it happens to be a really fun boat to sail that has a great fleet, and a transcontinental competition. So
Yeah, I was just really fortunate that it's for the right size for the two. They got to sail together.
yeah.
I feel really
It
lucky.
means a lot to you.
Yes.
It's a great class, and I think what's happening here in Japan is so good for the class. With all the young people.
It was
particularly-
incredible to see the parents and children sailing together at this regatta and doing well. Like it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, that's all we've got time for, but really great to catch up with you both. I really warmly congratulate
Thank
you. I've been
you,
trying to win a
yes.
Worlds for 48 years. It's not, it hasn't happened yet.
Fun sailing
and
against
it's
you,
not
Alistair.
about to. So well done. Cheers. And that's over from, cheers to Sailing Illustrated from the World Taser Champions in Okinawa. Bye.
To do that again, Julia, that was good. Yes. Nice people. This show is about cool people.
Yeah.
And I think Alistair has just introduced us to 2. I don't know these folks, but I'd like to meet them. I'd like to buy them a fake beer at the Seattle Yacht Club, if in fact they are from Seattle. I'm not
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
And Mark Michelson agrees, what a lovely report. And we love it when people like Alistair and others of you, Peter Stevenson and so on, send us reports from the far corners of the world. Mark Michelson, by the way, who is our weather guru here and has been for almost the 10 years we've been doing these shows, has go back and look at the chat because he has a lot to say and some more fill in around the edges, so to speak, about that European weather. One of his comments you see up there, third or fourth from the bottom now. Greetings, by the way, from Idaho. He moved from SoCal to Idaho a few years ago, he and his family, where it was 94 Fahrenheit yesterday, and they're expecting snow above 5,500 feet tomorrow and into Sunday. Love it. Some actual weather. Yeah, indeed, John Collings and others, Ted Ryman saying what a lovely report indeed that was. But wait, there's more. I just want to, again, congratulate Alistair, who was sailing in this huge fleet, over 100 boats. And as you see down there at the bottom, he finished 15th with Kyoko Kono crewing for him. And there's a picture of them. They had never sailed together. She does not speak much English, yet they still managed to get her on the track and do darn well. And he interviews her now.
Oh, good.
I thought you'd like this. He interviews Kyoko Kono, his crew.
G'day, Tom, Julia, and all the Fozy. This is Alistair with AAAA. That's Alistair's Awesome Aussie Anecdote on Sailing Illustrated, which is our favourite US sailing chat show. And I'm standing here with my good friend Kyoko. Hello, Kyoko.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, good to see you. So we are at the Taizar Worlds in Okinawa, and this has been a fantastic regatta. We've really enjoyed it. Kyoko and I have met 6 days ago, and we have sailed together in this regatta. Have you had fun sailing?
Yes.
Yes.
But you said already, Haikara.
She says the only two words I say is hike harder. So we met at the airport 6 days ago, and we said, how do we know each other? And I said, well, I'm tall and very good looking. And then she said, she's small and smaller than her suitcase. So she said, look for a large case and there'll be a little Japanese lady there. Yeah. But how many times have you sailed Taizars? How many Taizar sails?
Well,
World Championships? 4.
this time 4 times.
Four times in the World Championships. And how are we doing? How are we going on the water?
Good.
Good? How good? What are we coming?
You are good.
Oh, I'm good.
You are good.
That's
So,
not-
I very fun. Very hard, but very fun.
Very hot, but very fine.
Hard.
Hard.
Very
Very hard. It has been difficult. There's lots of applause happening in the background. We don't know what that is, but we're on the last day of the regatta. Kyoko and I are coming 13th out of 117 boats. Americans are coming first and second, and we're sitting here on the last day waiting for wind, of which there is none. So what you hear in the background is all of the sailors sitting around, enjoying themselves, waiting for wind. Do you think we get wind today, Kyoko?
I hope. I hope don't race.
So Kyoko has done, and we have done 7 races together in the last 2 days, and we are done. We don't want to do any more racing. We're finished, we hope.
Yes.
And we'd be happy with our 13th. Anyway, Kyoko, it's been an absolute pleasure sailing with you.
Yes.
We enjoyed meeting you.
Yes.
Hey, we have made a good team. Thank you very much. Over. See ya.
What a nice report.
Yeah,
Again.
Indeed.
Yeah, look at the comments here in the chat. Alistair's hat might be used to propel the boat in light air. I doubt he was wearing that while racing. Mark Michelson says the propeller hat is classic. No one else could pull that off and still look good. Ryman Ted loves the propeller as well. Yeah, it's a nice look. And bravo, Zulu. I mean, you can tell, Julie, her English is suspect at best. I mean, she can barely
she said that.
understand what Alistair is saying. And he said, in that first picture I showed you, he was pointing, and he said he really said boom vang, or he said jib sheet that didn't work. He just pointed and said
Right.
pull or ease, or
Yeah.
and that's how they communicate. Well, obviously, to finish 15th on 100 and
Yes.
plus boats was pretty darn good. And then, of course, he told her to hike harder. That's what she recalled him saying more than anything else.
Yes.
There he is. She looks like she's hiking pretty damn hard.
She is.
The travelers down there a bit that looks like they're in some breeze. And bravo, Zulu, to them both. Kyoko, hike harder. That's Alistair's report follow-up to the one we ran on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Alistair Murray's awesome Aussie anecdote. Yeah, a great result in a huge fleet. Greg Phillips agrees, and Steve Gruber is pointing out her English is suspect. How's y'all's Japanese? Konnichiwa. Domo arigato. That's about it.
Genki desu.
Huh?
Genki desu.
What's that mean?
Thank you. Genki desu.
That's another different thank you than I know. Blake agreeing that's a great AAA. Actually, both reports were a lot of fun.
Yes.
Bravo, Zulu. If we bring up the audio here, well done in praise of performance. Again, a follow-up from Tuesday when we were talking about the start a week ago today of the 54th Newport to Bermuda yacht race, one of the oldest offshore races in the world. Started, I think, in 1906. And as we told you on Tuesday, the first to finish was the Maxi Blackjack 100, which you'll remember from Sydney Hobart Racing and so on. It's been bought by a European, a Czech, actually a Dutch guy who lives in the Czech Republic now. And they were first to finish Blackjack 100. And now the corrections, the times have come in, and they were not only first to finish, but they're also in the open division, which means the pros and everybody, open. Counting everybody, they were the overall winners. So bravo, Zulu, to them. Their owner, Raymond Vos, who is, as I said, from the Netherlands originally and now is a wealthy billionaire businessman living in the Czech Republic in the property business. Another stellar job by the Cruising Club of America and, of course, the Royal Bermuda Yacht Club. And we now have the corrected overall results for the amateur or the non-pro division for the St. David's Light Trophy. And that, as you will see, was won by Nicole. You see that?
Yeah.
I'll make that bigger. Nicole, which is owned and skippered by Thomas Campbell. And Karina, our old friend Reeves Potts, a past Commodore New York, and he was on our America 2 team back in the 87 America's Cup, one of the best sailors and one of the nicest guys in the sport. Sheila McCurdy, the veteran of this race and many others, very bright gal. She skippered her boat with David Brown and co-owned it with David Brown 2/3. Selkie, bravo Zulu to her. And you'll see then that Dorade, Matt Brooks's Dorade, with Bill Brooks, I guess is his son, skippering, and they managed to finish 6th. So bravo Zulu to everybody in this race. There's the winner on corrected time for the non-pro division in Bermuda. That's Thomas Campbell's Cal 40, another Cal 40 win, Nicole. So fantastic stuff. Now this gentleman, some of you, actually probably many of you here in the States at least will know, longtime New York Yacht Club member, longtime U.S. Sailing, and before that even USYRU, senior serious guy. He was a good friend of mine and a good supporter of me when I was executive director, Dr. John Osmond III. He passed away a couple of years ago, and I don't remember we mentioned him at the time.
Don't remember.
His wife, Ellen, is also a hoot and knows all the words. And when we would do these sing-alongs anywhere in the world, she would be there and John would be there. But he also has led, I think he's chaired Bermuda race. He's done so many wonderful things for the sport. He competed, in fact, in 15 Bermuda races and served the race in the sport of offshore sailing in numerous leadership roles, including the chairman of this race and later principal race officer. He was widely respected for his steady leadership, sportsmanship, and lifelong commitment to offshore sailing. Julia, maybe this runs with being a doctor. He's an MD, and he and Andrew McIrvin are just like cut out of the same bolt of cloth. They're humanists, they're nice, they're gentlemen, they're articulate, they're bright as hell. And this guy, he was one of my favorite people in the sport for years and years. And in recognition of all that, they just established, the Bermuda Race Foundation has established the John D. Osmond Memorial Prize in honor of him, this longtime race leader and offshore sailor, John Osmond. A spokesman said, quote, 3 prizes will be awarded for the best performance by a first-time Bermuda race skipper, the person in charge of the boat, for boats competing in each of the Corinthian-focused divisions, St. Davis Light, the Finisterre, and the double-handed divisions, which again are Corinthian. Eligible competitors must be designated PIC for the entry and must display a valid World Sailing Group 1. That's the non-pro division, non-pro categorization per the notice of race. Bravo Zulu to everybody involved. I think this is a hell of a good idea, recognizing just a fantastic guy. And I'm sure his wife, his widow, is equally proud, and probably everybody involved with this race in New York Yacht Club. Well done. Bravo, Zulu.
That's terrific.
I mean, you would have loved this guy.
Yeah.
Everybody did. Okay, let's get to John Emmett and his report. John Emmett's Coaching Corner. Super Fuzzy John Emmett from Great Britain. And he weighs in with a brief one. And he, at the end, says, next time I do this, I won't wear a T-shirt that matches my background.
Hi, Tom, Julia, and all the Fozy. Welcome to John Emmett's Coaching Corner. Again, it's going to be a short one. No camera person today, I'm afraid, so just trying to do my best. And I think one of the most enjoyable parts of Sailing Illustrated is all the behind-the-scenes banter that we have with the Super Fozy. And the sport of sailing, of course, we're all passionate and we would like everything to be as good as it could. And by definition, perfection is the enemy of good, but we also need to be incredibly clear where we are, and there's no point pretending that the situation is better than it is. And this is really important when we try and create data to work out what went wrong and how we can improve. We've got to be, when we're approaching sponsors and backers and venues, very pragmatic about the real situation. And then I think the same the other way around. We need to be honest and don't downplay ourselves, to value what we have. It's a wonderful sport. I mean, I think during the pandemic, it was incredibly noticeable what good it did to people's mental health. So yeah, let's just be 100% realistic. And with that, sail fast, sail safe, keep having fun, and try not to wear the same T-shirt colour as your background.
John Emmett, his Coaching Corner. Before we got a couple more things to tack on here. One is, of course, our regular. I think we've done this every time now for more than a year, to remind all of you that we're pushing hard for Paralympic sailing to be back in the sailing to be back in the Paralympics in the 2032 games in Brisbane. Anything you can do to help. World Sailing's working hard on it. The Australians as a group and as a host country are working hard on it. The Paralympic community. U.S. Sailing, by the way, bravo Zulu to them, are having a big event in conjunction as part of the Claggett Cup, the Thomas Claggett Cup, which was an Ida Lewis regatta originally in Newport. And every effort is being made to get the sailing back in the Paralympics, and we hope you are on top of that as well, helping. Now, the second feature here is that John, you remember on Tuesday, showed us how to open the bar at the Castle Cove Sailing Club. That segment, Julia, was so popular, and John mentioned then that he had a video about closing the bar, and since this is the drinking show with Sailing Habit, I'm going to run that video as well.
Any paperwork from deliveries, which are normally on a Wednesday, if you put them here in the treasurer pigeonhole, and Sandra will be very happy. Really important that we bottle up, and that's not just putting bottles in the front, that's taking out the old bottles first. And then, when we've gone right the way to the back, we're gonna put in new bottles, because otherwise those poor little bottles at the back never get drunk, and then it's very upsetting the following year. We have to get rid of them all. So always bottle up from the back, and once again you can probably start doing this not at the very end of the evening, but when the drinking slows down. Bottles just go here in the large bin. And to get ahead of yourself, I'd actually encourage the people drinking to put their empty glasses in the tray rather than leave it on the front, and it would just help you keep up. The top tip is, if you're working behind the bar and you might be on your own, try and get your food in early while people are out racing, because you might not get a chance later. Really important, keep ahead of the glasses, because there's nothing worse than still washing glasses when everybody else has gone home. The glasses come out all hot and lovely from the dishwasher, put them straight back and keep ahead of yourself, because you definitely don't want to run out of glasses. And don't forget to wash up the drip trays. You're gonna undo everything you did when you arrived, but most important thing, remember to mop out, and we also need to turn all the lights out, because when you're doing bar duty, chances are you're going to be the last one to leave. Nearly there, lights off. And you're going to put these set of keys away, and you already know how to do that. Almost the last light. Stand by for the most satisfying sound of the evening. We can go home now.
You know, it's a little silly, and you say, well, is that really relevant to what our show is about?
Oh, yes,
news
it is.
music?
For lots of little clubs. Oh, yes.
Exactly. And you know, at our home club in Michigan, Clark Chapin will back me up, we order our dinners before we go out racing on Thursday nights, so that the dinner is, you know, the kitchen doesn't get overwhelmed when we all come in.
Yeah.
But the idea of a volunteer, this Castle Cove Sailing Club is like so many of our clubs,
Right.
all are, and you know, you don't have to be New York or St. Francis or Royal Sydney or Tommy Who. Most of the sailing, at least in this
Yes.
country, and I suspect in most of the world, is done at small clubs,
Right.
volunteer-centered, volunteer-driven. And
Right.
bravo Zulu to a guy like John Emmett, who's a pro coach and a big, you know, a
Yeah.
big deal, who has gone in and not only helps run the bar and helps run the club. He maybe is on their committee now. I can't remember what we would call their board.
Yeah.
But he's producing a video that will be hugely instructive and helpful.
Yes.
This is now a video world, especially with young people, hence this show, which is why I think producing, you know, doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
Put your iPhone or your Android phone up and do a little video, and you can just go live. You don't have to edit it. And then you've got that resource for the club on how to do various things.
Yes, it's a great idea.
Lance Burke says, I'm officer of the day bartender at South Beach Yacht Club, which is down by the ballpark here in San Francisco. But he had to get a California liquor server certificate. Well, you, Lance, probably needed to have such a certificate. Right, Julia?
Yes.
Oh, dear. The Yacht Club management coach, Ed Worley is calling John.
That's a good idea.
That is a good idea. Bravo, Zulu, John, and thanks again for your coaching corner.
I've been just noticing the press that Lily's getting too. She's been doing
Well, she's moving from big boats into match racing and other disciplines.
Right.
John Emmett Sailing, get to the front of the fleet. And before we leave, you know, this is usually our Olympic segment too. We have this Olympic news we said at the top of the show about the IOC now awarding prize money. And that's certainly a switch from when it used to be kicking people out of the games if they had received any kind of money or support beyond just basic expenses. Is this new move by the IOC correct or croutonic? I ask you. And here's the news that the IOC has scrapped 130 years of tradition by paying athletes $10,000, every athlete, at the Olympics. They set up a £106 million fund for all athletes at the Games. Milano Cortina competitors this past Winter Olympics in February will be the first to be paid, hence my passion and my fetish for hockey and the U.S. hockey team. But I actually took that picture out of The Guardian. That's the picture they used for this article. This is the fairly new, recent IOC president, Kirsty Coventry from Zimbabwe. And she, along with a couple others, have led this charge, this push. And the IOC has broken with, according to The Guardian, 130 years of tradition by deciding to pay athletes to compete at the Olympic Games. I'm not so sure to compete is fair, but pay athletes who have competed to help defray some of their expenses, I suppose. Starting with the recent Milano Cortina Winter Olympics, all competitors will be entitled to a $10,000 US dollars, 7,600 pounds, a grant from the IOC, regardless of whether they are NBA stars or on the poverty line. And apparently about 14,000 athletes from the Summer and Winter Games are eligible for the payment at a cost to the IOC of about 140 mil. I assume that is per quadrennium. Athletes would receive the money 6 months after competing, provided they did not fail a doping test or otherwise violate the Olympic Charter. Quote, this grant will be available to every Olympian, says Paul Gasol, the head of the IOC Athletes Commission. Quote, not just medal winners, not just athletes from a certain country, but every Olympian. Because while every athlete's journey is different, every Olympian has made sacrifices to reach the Olympic stage, years of dedication, years of hard work, years of believing in a dream, Julia.
Which is true.
So that's a horse of a different color after all these years. I ask you first, ladies first, is that correct or croutonic?
My first response to it is that they make me go through all of that and then they pay me. If I want to be helped, I want to be helped when I really need it in the middle.
You see what the others, actually it says, so Steve Gruber is saying, so the 10 grand is a participation. Well, it is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Exley thinks it's croutonic. It ruins the spirit of the games. Ted Ryman likes it. He says a good idea. Lance Burke here in the Bay Area, a fellow St. Francis member, saying, like the NCAA, which is our National Collegiate Athletic Association governing college sports in this country, the IOC is a huge commercial enterprise making billions from quote-unquote amateur athletes. At least FIFA admits it, the Soccer Federation. Football Federation. Clark Chapin replying to Chris Exley, the spirit of the games left the building decades ago when the big TV rights bidding started. And I suppose we're all saying something along those lines, that the IOC is rich. They're bringing in billions and billions with each Olympics. So it starts to seem, just as college athletics in this country have changed, maybe for the good, maybe not.
Both sides.
You're skeptical, and I am too. But they've got all this cash, and these kids that are making the money, the athletes, probably deserve to have something to help defray their expenses.
Yeah.
It's not a princely sum, 10 grand. No. It will be to some people who are barely scraping by, but it's still, in terms of what a sailing team spends per year to campaign a 49er or even a IQ foil, that's not a big contribution to their costs. Anybody else want to comment? Peter Stevenson down in Australia, Pedro foiling sailor as he's known, paying Olympic athletes, isn't that like taking drugs to win the Tour de France? I don't think so. I think it is a participation trophy. I think Steve Gruber is right.
Yeah.
Blake Middleton says, 10K would be truly appreciated to me, which raises the question because Blake has tried to qualify for the Paralympics. He's got MS, and he's a hell of a good sailor and a good race officer. And he's saying, 10K would be really appreciated.
Yeah.
I wonder, it begs the question, I wonder if they're going to give the Paralympians a stipend. That doesn't make any money. That's a cost center, I think, for the Olympics, funding the Paralympics. So that will be interesting to see if that money will trickle down also to the Paralympics. Anybody else? Clark Chapin is saying a new 49er I don't know if that's a campaign clerk or the cost of a boat. You're saying 23 to 35K. I think you mean just the cost of the boat.
Yeah.
And these athletes, sailing athletes from whatever country, some countries give more support than others, but they still have to raise a lot of money.
They do.
On their own, because they're spending, some of them, probably a lot of them, 75, 80, maybe 100, 100 grand a year.
That's what they.
Okay. Anything else on that? Ed Worley says the dollars should go to the teams to cover costs to encourage participation. Okay, well, that's an idea too, that you could give them, but then you'd be giving to the MNAs. And the problem with that, Ed, is it's quasi-governmental, and all the fraud. You'd have people in some countries taking that money for the heads of the member national authorities, the national governing bodies. They'd end up taking that money for themselves.
Yeah.
Alley Cat Productions, at least it is a start. Okay, so you apparently like that. By the way, I hope we have fixed, I see a lot of people on YouTube, but also on Facebook today. I hope we have fixed the Facebook problem. I did some...
YouTube, was it?
No, it was Facebook.
Oh, it was.
YouTube was working fine. Facebook was not working so well on our Tuesday show, and I looked into that with the help of ChatGPT.
Thank you very much.
It's unbelievable how good
Doctor.
ChatGPT is.
Yes.
Whether they're talking about doctoring or internet doctoring.
Yes.
Let's get to our main feature, because this is a great win for a good friend of ours who's been on this show I don't know how many times, but Bravo Zulu 2, Morgan Pinckney, who won the Youth Match Racing Worlds at Middelfart in Denmark that wrapped up yesterday after a week of intense racing in the Danish heat wave. Yeah, it was hot up there too.
Yeah.
It all came down to the last 200 meters in race 5. It's a first to win 3, and they were tied 2-2 going into the final with the very fine Australian team. Morgan Pinckney, Kelly Holtis, Cam Spriggs, Jacob Posner, Alice Schmidt was his team, and they are the 2026 world champions. Bravo Zulu to them. Morgan will be racing in the Gulf Cup here in a month, and he has been trying to win that for years. He started as a youngster, and he's one of the favorites certainly for this year. But back to this event, a heat wave has made sure everything from the temperatures to the intensity on the race course has been close to the boiling point. Sounds like Magnus the Magnificent wrote this. Even though the 12 teams from 11 nations have been tested to the limit of their abilities and stamina, the race committee completed all 104 races, the rounds robin, quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals, despite the wind being light and shifterly, some would say shitterly, throughout the race week. Yes, Dogzilla Monster, there really is a place called Middelfart.
Yes.
Middelfart, I think it's pronounced. So we'll have to ask Gordon Smith or somebody who speaks Danish. For the American team, the victory did not come easy. After a 5-boat tie after the round robin, Morgan Pinckney and his team members, Kelly Holtis, Cam Spriggs, Jacob Posner, and Alice Schmidt, had to fight their way through the semis, facing the strong French team, and then meet number 2 on the world ranking list, Australian skipper Daniel Kemp, who is from your favorite club, the Royal Prince Alfred, because I've heard from the Commodore who's very proud of them. Is Morgan's dad John? No, John Pinckney is his cousin or uncle. I'm not sure which, Blake Sale, but John, who used to coach at Balboa Yacht Club, great sailor in his own right. I believe that's correct. So Bravo Zulu to them, and to the event organizers. It was, by all accounts, a great event with the boats being equal and the race committee doing a fine job. And as we said, the final was undecided after 4 races. It came down to the last leg, in fact, the last few hundred meters of the last race. Quote, even though we got the start right and the umpires gave Daniel a penalty, Daniel Kemp, I got a little nervous on the first beat, and he reeled us back in. He got ahead and killed his penalty. Not only got ahead, but also killed the penalty. Then we got ahead just before the last winter mark and managed to stay in the lead until the finish, thanks to great crew work. I'm so happy to be sailing with these guys, said Morgan Pinckney after their gold medal was secured. So here's another Gov Cup veteran.
Yes.
having won the Youth Worlds.
nice to see that.
It's really, it's nice to see these kids match racing in these events like Gov Cup, like these events down in Australia and New Zealand and elsewhere in the world now. I think it's great. Greg Newman says that John is in fact his dad, and Mike Pinckney, that's right, Greg, thank you. Mike was the coach at Balboa Yacht Club, wasn't he? So nice job. And then also bravo Zulu to this team for Australian skipper Daniel Kemp. The silver medal was not what they had hoped for. Morgan gave us a penalty in the pre-start, but we managed to fight our way back. Even though we managed to do our penalty while we were ahead, Morgan and his team fought their way back. So right now the result stings a little bit, but I'm sure that we will be happy about the result in a couple weeks. Daniel Kemp from the Royal Freshwater, or not, the Royal Prince Alfred Yacht Club. I don't know, Chris, actually, what boats those are. And Tom Fishbeck reminding us that Morgan's parents are John and Gail, whom I've gotten to know in Newport Beach over the last few years at Governor's Cup. The third place team we should also mention, because these are a great team. They'll also be at Gov Cup. And it was a tricky week. This is a quote from Matthias Rossing, the third place skipper.
Yeah.
It was a tricky week in Middelfart with light winds and strong current. We didn't sail up to our best in the semis. Luckily, we managed to get ourselves back into the game in the petit finale. It's the consolation. And we are happy to finish with a bronze medal. That, again, is the Danish skipper, Matthias Rossing. He said that after the awards ceremony. So good stuff. And
he's done well, too.
He has, and he'll be back this year at Gov Cup. And Julie, I don't know much about I've not been to Middelfart that I recall.
There are a lot of Middelfarts.
There are? You're not making a joke, are you?
No.
Huh?
No.
I do middling farts all the time, all day long.
No. Germany.
What are you talking about, Julia? I'm going to give you a finger wag.
No, don't do that. That's a capital
offense?
letter.
Okay, let's get back and be serious here. The newly elected mayor of the Middelfart municipality is excited about the opportunities the newly renovated marina provides for this and future regattas. Quote, Middelfart has truly shown itself from its very best side in the middle of this heat wave. It has been fantastic to see the new marina come to life with thousands of people on the harbor, at the beach, by the bathhouse, and along the waterfront in front of Sandhuset, where sailors have been able to watch the world's best junior match racing sailors up close. It's the new mayor, Anders Mollegard.
That's nice.
So it is nice, and you love to see communities embracing our sport, having a nice shoreside, waterside facility, and saying nice things about it afterwards. And the mayor, no less the mayor. So here are the final results with Morgan and Co. on top. I think all but one of those sailors is from Southern California. I think one of them is from New England or elsewhere. But all terrific sailors. We know the Holtises, we know the Spriggs family. I don't know Jacob or Alice, but they are all, by what I've been talking to Morgan and a few others, Andy Rose, they're apparently fabulous sailors, as is this Daniel Kemp team, many of whom we've met before. And as I said, they'll be at Gov Cup as well. Matthias Rossing in third place. And then you'll remember Ethan Fong down there in fifth place. Just a stellar lineup. Theo Westerlund from Sweden, and I think he's back at Gov Cup again this year. So a great turnout. And bravo Zulu to Morgan, who's managed now, another American, to win the World Match Racing Youth Championships. Clark Chapin says the boats were blue 26s that seem to have symmetric spinnakers. Well, you can do either on a boat. What are we saying here? Okay. I'm looking at the chat. I don't see anything else we need to articulate except to say that we had Morgan on the show in April as part of the Road to the 2026 Gov Cup, episode 2, there with Andy Rose on the right. And we've also had one other sailor, a Kiwi sailor, his name will come to me in a moment, also on the show. And we are going to ramp that back up. We've got a month to try to get as many of the skippers in and on Sailing Illustrated, which we'll do. We got a month to do that, right?
Sure.
You look askance. You know how difficult it is to schedule that, get them on, whether we record them live or whether we bring them on the air.
It's a puzzle.
Well, it's not a puzzle. It's just it takes effort. Yes, make it technically a little more challenging, get them fired up and get the timing and do a test, tech check, and so on. But Bravo Zulu again to Morgan, who will be at GovCup, and I texted him this morning, and he said, we definitely made some self-inflicted mistakes in the tricky conditions. They kept racing very tight, but we managed to carry through, and we are looking forward. Greg Newman will appreciate this, I think. And we're looking forward to GovCup and some ranch waters. Julie, you know what ranch waters are?
I know what branch waters are.
Well, the ranch waters is similar. Similar. And I'm sure that, well, I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Team USA has won the Youth Match Racing World. Morgan Pinckney and co. And Bravo Zulu to them. Speaking of the Governor's Cup, that is coming up here in a month. 27th of July through the 1st of August, the 59th edition of the oldest and most prestigious International Youth Match Racing Championship will take place at Balboa Yacht Club down in Newport Beach, Corona del Mar. And here is what we call the B bumper that you'll see plenty of between now and the end of this regatta. We've been doing television for GovCup, led by Chris Bretschker, who's a local guy, hell of a good sailor and good friend. And he runs the on-the-water stuff, and I run the on-the-shore TV, and then I go out and commentate with the guys on the boat, on the media boat. We'll be doing that again this year. And I hope you all will tune in because it's great for the kids to see them.
What I love about it is you get to know everybody.
Indeed.
And recognize them and cheer for them. And
indeed. You know, we've said this before on the show that in the, I guess, 10 plus years we've been doing TV, and we went from with an iPhone,
yes,
you know, holding up an iPhone with little white triangles on the horizon and talking into the end of the phone live streaming,
right? When
you could only live stream from a phone up to the cell tower, wherever it was on shore.
Yeah.
And now, of course, it's using desktops and multiple connections to the cell system out on the water and multiple cameras and multiple commentators. In fact, Jeffrey Peterson, who's won the GovCup twice, is coming back to be one of our commentators.
Oh, good.
Again this year. The Governor's Cup is the oldest youth match race, got to be under 23, match racing championship in the world, includes among its alum many of the finest sailors in the world, led by two-time America's Cup winner Jimmy Spithill from Australia.
Royal Prince Albert.
Another RPA, that's right. This year, all three finalists for the prestigious here in this country, U.S. Rolex Yachtsman of the Year, Justin Callahan, Taylor Canfield, and Paul Cardini, who were the finalists, have sailed in the GovCup. And last month at the premiere, this is now a couple months ago, premier pre-Olympic event, the Trofeo Princesa Sofia Regatta in Mallorca, the second and fourth place finishers in the extremely competitive 49er class, Nevin Snow here down in San Diego and Harry Price of Sydney, are both two-time Governor's Cup winners. So their kids come in and sail in this event and go on to amazing things in our beloved sport. Speaking of whom, two-time winners Cole Tapper and Jeffrey Peterson have now both aged out. They're now 23 or older. And, of course, they've both gone on to bigger and better things. I'm not sure it's better, but they certainly are continuing to sail beautifully in various events. After 5 years of dominance by Jeffrey and Cole, who each won twice, a new generation of youth match racing teams will take center stage in the 59th GovCup, the International Youth Match Racing Championship, in a month's time, July 27th through August 1st. And of course, it takes place at the beautiful Balboa Yacht Club in Corona del Mar, which is a neighborhood of Newport Beach, California. The invitees, it's by invitation. You ask as a sailor, as a team, a skipper, you ask for an RFI, request for invitation. And there's a committee of people who study this, Andy Rose and Christine Gribben and others at the club, who really spend a lot of time trying to get the best possible talent based on their records, based on the resumes that they have sent in. And then they invite 11 of the 12 teams, and the 12th team then comes out of the Rose Cup, the U.S. National Youth Match Racing Championship, which we'll tell you more about in a minute. The invitees this year are led by the 3 top-ranked skippers in the World Sailing Youth Match Racing rankings for sailors under 23 years of age. Ethan Fong, who we mentioned, Daniel Kemp, who we mentioned, and Josh Hyde, the Kiwi, whose name I was trying to remember a minute ago, who was also on the show doing already his Road to the Gov Cup 2026 show. So that's good. And he was not at the Youth Worlds, but he'll be back at Gov Cup and may well be, along with Morgan, probably a top, among the top prospects to win. Also among the favorites are Christian Prendergast, the 10th ranked skipper on the World Sailing Open. That's not age limited, but the world rankings, who also has been invited to and sailed pretty well in the Congressional Cup, a World Match Racing Tour event. And this was from this press release that I'm reading now is from before Congressional Cup, obviously. In only one case in the Gov Cup's 58-year history has a Gov Cup winner won the Congressional Cup serving as skipper or tactician while still eligible for the Governor's Cup. I wonder who that was, Julia.
I wonder who it
He
was.
went to Stanford.
I know, and he's never going to forget it.
He's not. Our Gov Cup guru, Andy Rose.
Yes.
Prendergast will be joined by Morgan Pinckney, as we mentioned, 3-time Gov Cup podium finisher, James Hayhoe of Australia, Sam Scott, also of New Zealand, rounding out the 5-team contingent from down under, from Oz and the land of the long white cloud. Gov Cup TV, we will be live, 10 live shows starting on that Monday night of that week, running through Saturday night with, as I said, on the water live coverage, also morning shows every morning. They meet the teams on the very introductory thing on Monday night. I'll do our regular Tuesday show, and Christine Gribben will be my guest, as usual, to give us a preview of the Governor's Cup and press conferences and so on and so forth. It's great prize giving. It's great fun. Now, speaking of the Rose Cup, that's the U.S. National Championship, Youth Match Racing Championship. That is underway, sort of. They don't have any wind unless things have changed. That's underway at Oak Cliff Sailing Center and being hosted by Dawn Riley and her superb team. They've got a great group of kids from around the U.S., including Freddie Parkin and Sienna Nichols, who you have to think are favorites at that event. And that is Sienna's team. You remember Sienna, who did well last year. She's only, I think, 16, maybe 17 now. And she's on the right as the skipper. And then Eddie Kleem, Maddie Nichols, and Taylor Escola are rounding out her team. And they are sailing in Oyster Bay in Long Island.
Yeah.
And Christine Gribben there on the right is there to present the invitation to whomever wins this event, unless it's somebody that's already been chosen, in which case it will go to the runner-up. So if Sienna wins the Rose Cup, she's already been chosen as one of the people. Then the runner-up gets the nod. Sienna's and Maddie's mother, Melanie Nichols, is also a contributor to our sport. She's the fleet captain. It's a big job at Balboa Yacht Club.
Is she?
And Christine Gribben is not only the Gov Cup chair for life, as Andy calls her, but she serves in that capacity. But she's also Rear Commodore now.
Yes, I know that. That's great for her.
The BYC. I love the team photos with names attached. Yes. Tom Fishbeck says he just saw Bobby Steele, and he said, yes, Bobby's our Gov Cup guru, weather guru, and he's looking forward to serving in that capacity again. Finally, that was the wind an hour or so ago.
Oh.
On Long Island,
Oh.
in Oyster Bay, I should say. So I don't know. I have to look at the text, or maybe Greg Newman, if he's still on, or even Christine Gribben, if she's had time to tune in, tell us if there's any wind out there, because it has been very light, as you can plainly see. Very light indeed. Christine texted a few minutes ago saying nothing, it's bad, hug, and Greg Newman says, as expected. And it's often a bit light in Long Island Sound in the summer. It used to not, there's a picture, that picture sent by Christine. It used to not be that way. When we were growing up, when we were kids, and we race on Long Island Sound at any of the clubs, either on the Connecticut shore or on the Long Island
That's
shore.
been explained to us.
And Mark Michelson, who's been on here, he'll explain it to you, but we all know they paved Paradise and put up a parking lot. And what, of course, has happened is they paved basically Long Island. And there's still a pretty good sea breeze on the south shore of Long Island, but that's a rough and tumble kind of place to sail. So there's not many clubs on the south shore. There's some. But the Sound, which is protected and nice sailing, the wind now, however, goes up over because the heat rises off the parking, off all the pavement and the buildings, and it rises up over Long Island and then stays aloft and then goes into Connecticut and goes back down. And there's not a lot of wind in the summertime on Long Island, unless it blows out of the northwest. If you get frontal passage and you get wind, you get wind out of the northwest.
Does that happen very often?
Yeah, once every 6, 7, 8 days, you get a frontal passage. Maybe 10 days, but some are order of magnitude. And of course, you can have the occasional easterly when some storm goes up the East Coast, and especially once the hurricanes start to run. But sea breeze is rare these days on Long Island Sound. As Clark Chapin said, as his dad would have said, his late great father, Gory, what a great guy he was. It's flatter than piss on a platter. Julia, give him the finger.
That's 3 for today. I know.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, it's light. Okay, so that's enough for youth match racing, but we do have a fetish about that. It's one of our favorite things on the show, as you all know. What happened, Julie, on this day in history, the 26th of June, 2017? More sailing related than usual, actually. We're always trying to find something that is sailing related, but this one is particularly.
There's a cup race.
Yes, well done. Which one? Bermuda. In 2017 were these two guys, the head of Emirates Team New Zealand, Grant Dalton, and the skipper, Peter Burling. One beat Oracle Team USA in Bermuda, creamed them actually. Steve Gruber's got it. And America's Cup was won. Hamish Ross has also got it by the Kiwis. And of course, Kiwis, Russell Coutts, and that crowd won in San Diego in 95 and then defended in 2000 and then lost it to Alinghi in 03. But this is the second coming for Team New Zealand. They almost won it here, and as you remember, Julia, in San Francisco 2013, after Jimmy Spithill's big comeback when we were down 8-1 and it came back and won at 9-8.
Yeah.
That was a choke of magnificent proportions, one of the biggest comebacks in the history of the sport. But the Kiwis got reorganized. They brought on Pete Burling, and it was a magnificent performance.
To 20 knots, right? Don't forget the millions of Kiwis that are up watching this right now. I think it's about 5 in the morning back on that little island.
Digesting their early morning cornflakes, wiping the sleep from their eyes, and recognizing that their team is close now. There will be no fairy tale comeback this time around. Jimmy Spithill has lost his magic wand, and in the meantime, the Kiwis, innovative in their design, intense in their focus, resilient throughout the time here in Bermuda. The New Zealanders pedaling into the history books. The America's Cup wrestled from the USA. The trophy belongs to New Zealand. All that Heartache and pain of San Francisco, replaced by jubilation here in Bermuda. And 4.5 million people on the other side of the planet let out an almighty roar.
To Emirates Team New Zealand!
Yeah, Jody Shields is, I think, right. He says, I can't believe there's never been a movie or documentary about this, about that win, but maybe one will come. There's just now being one produced about Mighty Mary, about Bill Koch's all-women's team in '95. That's just about to air, to come be released. So maybe there will be one on this as well. But here's what really happened of note, besides their winning the Cup. It's made, Peter Burling, as the skipper, was the youngest helmsman to win the Cup at age 26, because Jimmy Spithill was 30-ish, 29, 30, when he won it, and now Pete has won it at age 26. Who knows what will happen in the future, but it was on this day.
Sienna will do it.
No, maybe Sienna Nichols, yeah. Be the first female and the youngest. This day in history, the 26th of June, 2017. Yeah, Ted Ryman, I agree. The commentary is way better than the Sail GP noise. You know, I just go off on a bit of a tangent here now, Julia, because the World Cup, they're setting attendance records on the World Cup here in the FIFA World Cup here in the States.
They are.
The games have been, not all of them fantastic, but most of them have been really interesting and close, fun to watch.
Yeah.
Television ratings are sky high. People are having fun. People here in the U.S. are having fun hosting the visitors from all around the world. And it's just giving, I think, everybody a real warm, kind of fuzzy, goosebumpy type feeling. But also, I've been, as a TV guy, I watch the commentary, listen to the commentary. And you get the odd, some of these European commentators who go,
They have to do that.
but not so much.
Yeah.
And you got commentators from around the world on this Fox feed, at least here in the U.S., and they're not just all Americans. There's the odd American, but you got Brits, you got Brazilians, you got French. And the guys and gals calling the game are just the way I think we should be calling our sport. Level-headed. They're having a conversation between the two, between the play-by-play guy or gal and the analyst, the color person. And they're having a conversation, which is fabulous to listen to.
It is.
I've learned a lot. I've enjoyed it, every minute of it. And yes, their voices start to go, when there's a close, call, voice goes up a little bit and you lean in.
Volume goes up,
If you're watching something else, you lean back in here to the tube.
Yeah.
And I don't have the games on right now, but I could. And I generally have them up there on that big screen while I'm preparing the show or whatever. But I, for one, Julia, I hope you have as well, enjoyed it very much indeed. Clayton Embley says, watch the news overseas to hate America. Go to America to love it. Yeah, it's been fun.
Actually, the athletes have said that.
Over and over. Yeah, I think everybody has. So we're now into this. There are a couple more games today, and then we're into this next knockout stage, the round of 32, is it? So great stuff. Fabulous. Okay, I've said my bit about the FIFA World Cup. Now, in our sport, they'd like to think that the America's Cup is the FIFA World Cup, but clearly it is not.
At the moment.
It was closer to that in the 07 days when Alinghi had the Cup. We were racing in Valencia. We had 13 teams on the IACC boats, including South Africa and 3 teams from Italy and, on and on and on. And certainly 1983 in Newport was a big event. And of course, the Aussies won it, but then we all went to Perth, to Fremantle, for the 87 Cup. And there were fully 17 teams, 13 challengers and 4 defenders. And that was fabulous.
It was.
This one, not so much. This is Italy's America's Cup Challenger. Luna Rossa, we told you about on Tuesday, had finally sailed their AC-75, and now they've sailed it for its 4th day from the team's base in Cagliari down there in the southeast corner, southern end of Sardinia. Unfortunately, Richard Gladwell writes this, no report was available from the recon team. And Maria, whose last name I won't try to pronounce, Giubi, I don't know, wasn't revealing too much either. She is a top NACRA 17 crew and was a trimmer on the Italian AC40, which won the Puig Women's America's Cup in Barcelona. One other note is that apparently now this team has retired their AC40s, that is Luna Rossa, and they're focused on their AC75.
As they should be.
We're here with Maria Jubilei, sailor on board Luna Rossa. Maria, can you describe your role on board of the AC75?
Yeah, for the moment we are just doing tests out on the water. We are rotating the crew, so the crew may change every day. So yeah, we're just going out to test.
We saw different conditions today, from light and flat to rather a little bit of chop and a moderate breeze. What condition did you prefer today?
Well, I prefer obviously the strong winds, but Cagliari is a beautiful place that get us a lot of opportunity to test quite everything, even in only one day. So it was a perfect day for sailing.
What was on the to-do list today? We saw some tests on the rudder, bow up with the elevator pulling down.
Well,
some modification on there?
These are the first days of sailing, so we have long lists to be done, so a lot of work every day.
What would be your best learning from today?
I don't know, too many.
Are you looking at sail trim at all, rudder trim on board?
Maybe next time.
What would you say can you mostly, with your highly sailing experience, bring to the team?
I don't know. I mean, the team that may sail on the 75 is a very strong team, so for sure I will have a lot to learn from them. I'll try to give my best and give them something, but we will see.
Grazie, Maria.
Prego.
You got to give her credit. She's been well schooled in how not to give away
right.
any information to the media, to the interviewers. Back on the commentary differences between Sail GP.
How about this one from Jody? Oops. Yeah, Sail GP is like my love life. Plenty of action, noisy, and over very quickly.
If that doesn't deserve a finger wag, the next one does.
Mm-hmm.
You want to read the next one?
Jody, you must have loud sheep.
Oh, my goodness, how far down the toilet we have gone. Bravo Zulu to her, by the way. I thought she did a great job handling that interview. I'll try to get to pronounce. I'll get Margarita Marshall to help me learn how to pronounce her name, because I suspect we'll see more of her. Julia, this is the GBR team base. They're being erected. I call it the GBR erection in Bagnoli, which is the right next door to Naples, which is where
is that around the corner?
That's kind of north and west.
Yeah,
and that's where the caldera, the big underneath, it was the big caldera, and it might go off any minute. It might go off in 1,000 years, but there's a big boiling volcanic, earthquakey madness underneath Bagnoli in the immediate area.
I never saw that.
Oh, there's reports every day in the media about the latest little earthquake. Oh, thanks. Speaking of earthquakes, these poor folks down in Venezuela, that was two of them. One was 7 something and then another 7 something with, the aftershock.
And they're not really prepared for it because it's been over 100 years since.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay, well, thanks. Speaking of Margarita Marshall, thanks to her for sending that picture. I'm not sure where she got it, but she is a long time friend, great photographer, now the wife of John Marshall, or John's her husband, and she is terrific. If you follow her on Facebook, I recommend it to you. Chris Feary says he just cannot watch Sail GP with their loud, inane commentary. I completely agree, Chris. I have to turn it off. I mean, I'll say it one more time. I don't know why I'm starting to watch golf a little bit. And I don't know why we don't approach, I've said it before about tennis, why we don't approach our sports, the commentary, like golf or tennis. It's about the same pace, even when you're going as fast as these foiling boats are. And you describe what's going on, the pictures show what's going on, and you don't have to and then talk over each other.
It's the talking over that gets to me.
Well, what also gets to me is having that noise come off the boats, whether that's a tape loop or whether that's the actual radio or the intra-com.
Yeah.
Within the boat, the comms within the boat along the crew.
Yeah.
It's hugely distracting. It's okay to cut to it like they do in F1 and listen to briefly the pilot, the driver talking to the pit wall or vice versa. But don't have it running in the background the whole time. It's absolutely and utterly cartoonic.
Oh, how else?
Russell, if you're watching, fix it. Because it's just, you're ruining what is otherwise, I think, a pretty good television. Ed Worley will love this, a television product. Okay, that's what's going on. There is one British base getting erected. Is that the GBR base that Jim Ratcliffe owns? I don't know. I was going to make the joke, but I decided that not to say that this is the base without a boat. I don't know what's going on. It's awfully quiet. It's awfully quiet. Okay, let's move on to the last leg. We're an hour and 25 minutes into this one. And in the last leg, we have a treat. And again, I want to thank Claire Harrington, Commodore Harrington, for playing. What you're listening to is Claire playing Scott Joplin's Maple Leaf Rag. And we needed a theme. We needed some music for this. And I didn't want to get a copyright strike. So she said, well, how about if I play Maple Leaf Rag and on my piano in Newport and record it? And she did.
In about 2 minutes.
One take, yeah. One morning, and sent it to me, and we put it in. Claire Harrington playing Scott Joplin's Maple Leaf Rag, which is also appropriate because our last leg, we're talking about the New York Yacht Club's Women's International Championship. It's the inaugural edition, and it's huge. It's really shaping up to be a big deal. September 12 to 19 at Harbor Court in Newport. The regatta will utilize the club's fleet of IC-37s, 20 of them. And that was the boat designed now, 10 years ago? Has it been that long? By Mark Mills, to a brief developed by the club. Powerful, sporty platform that rewards cohesive crew work and athleticism. The event features 2 days of mandatory, as you Brits would say, mandatory practice and 5 days of racing. Impressive shoreside social activity. Everything at Harbor Court
is impressive.
Is impressive.
No question.
Especially the shoreside social activities. On the new Harbor Court waterfront, which has been updated, revised, along with a formal prize-giving banquet, it will create a truly memorable regatta experience. I think it's absolutely correct. The 2026 New York Yacht Club Women's International Regatta is supported also by our favorite partner, by a founding partner, Rolex. And Julia, again, you would be disappointed if I didn't have a video, but it requires a little bit of setup. This, and each of the teams, with help, I think, of New York Yacht Club and Stu Struley, their media person, they're producing a video like our Gov Cup, Road to the Gov Cup. Well, these are the Road to Newport, and this is Team Norway, just out with their video.
Wow, good.
My name is Maya. I am the tactician on Team Ursa Minor, and we are representing Norway for the Women's Invitational Cup. And my name is Ragna, and I'll be the skipper for the regatta. I would say we were definitely lucky to have such windy days, especially yesterday, to knock off all the rust, because it's been a year since we were in the boat last, and so getting the boat handling hammered down was very helpful for at least the racing we did today. And we're a pretty established team. We've sailed together for the last few seasons. But we're switching out a few of the guys this year for female sailors so that we can be fully prepared for September. So definitely some new roles on board and some new positions we're working on. But all in all, it's been a really good practice weekend. Yeah, and it's always good to have Moose on the water giving us some pointers because we don't have another coach with us. So we're twins. Yeah. I personally like it a lot. I feel like we think very similarly, and often she will pick up on stuff that I'm thinking without me necessarily having to say it. Though it's not really helpful for other people on the boat when we do that, so we've been trying to overly communicate, but it's still nice to have each other's company, for sure. Yeah. And then we can just speak a little bit Norwegian if we don't want anyone to hear what we're discussing back there. It's been a long time since I've sailed in such a big fleet with so many good sailors, women sailors. Yeah. Last time it was probably in college, honestly, so I'm really excited about that. I think a lot of familiar faces around the race course, which is nice to see from the R49er days and also from the IC circuit. Yeah, and it's fun to be such a big team of sailors that are all pulling in the same direction, trying to get a good result and become better at this in this IC class. Yeah.
The road to Newport. I think these have been good videos. We'll try to play each of them as they come out for the 20 teams. Sponsored by Rolex and Helly Hansen, among others. Bravo Zulu to New York. And you know, I have a soft spot in my heart for Norway. I'm glad to see Norway, which is my other team in the FIFA Gold in the World Cup. Norway's gotten through, and of course the U.S. has gotten through. And my mother, who was Norwegian, half Norwegian, maybe a little more, always, talked about Norway and what a great country. And of course, he's still the king. He's not in great health, but he's a hell of a good sailor, right?
Right.
His Majesty.
Olaf.
No, that was the dad.
Oh, that was dad. Oh.
Harold. His Majesty King Harold.
Oh, yes.
And great sailor, great friend. I've been up there and had lunch with him at his family home in Skaugum down the Norwegian fjord. I've been to his office in the palace there in downtown Oslo. But more importantly, just a night like these two ladies, these two women, just fabulous people, nice, smart people. One of the wealthiest, because of the North Sea oil, one of the wealthiest countries per capita, if not the wealthiest in the world. So I think these Norwegians, again, have a good shot, according to what I am hearing and reading. And Dolly DeVol is saying 2 good Aussie teams. Yes. There was a nice press release about that not too long ago out of Australia. The 2 good Aussie teams of ladies are racing. I think it's going to be a hell of an event.
It will be.
I'm looking forward to it. It will be the 12th through the 19th of September in Newport at Harbor Court, the New York Yacht Club Rolex Women's International Championship. So that's our last leg looking ahead, but I also want to look ahead to one other thing. Because next week is this massive event, cool event, up in Marstrand, the GKSS Match Cup Sweden. Our longtime friend and Superfozy James Pleasance will be pumping out all kinds of great material, information, media on that. And we'll cover that on next week's show. We'll be doing shows again next week, Tuesday and Friday. The following week, I'll be in Michigan at doing my 4th of July thing with our family. And I'll do a Tuesday show, hopefully with Clark Chapin. Clark's very, very busy that week with family and yacht racing things of his own. He's got to go to his national championship. And if not, Clark...
What is his national championship?
Interlake class.
Oh.
The Interlake class nationals are at North Cape Yacht Club, I think, starting next Wednesday.
Oh, well, good for him.
A week from next Wednesday. And he's a past, I think, president of the class. He's a perennial contributor to our beloved sport, including through his class association, the 18-foot Interlake. So we don't have Clark on a week from Tuesday. We'll have somebody else equally good, hopefully. Julia, we are to Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. My pillow still hasn't arrived.
It will.
We don't need to go into that again, but I do have Whiskey Tango Foxtrot hats, I think, from Peter Taylor. I should have one of those hats on now.
Yeah.
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Thanks to Magnus and to the Commodore, who, she's a doctor as well. We have to start calling her Commodore Doctor, like we call him. You don't like that?
Well, I don't know if she would. If I were she.
She doesn't like it. She just likes being called Claire. She's so modest.
I know, but I'd stick with Commodore until she's a past Commodore, and then
we call her Commodore Doctor.
Yeah.
Well, she is. She's got a doctorate in music.
I know she is.
And she's an airline pilot. She's flying around, and she's unbelievable.
She is.
I keep telling her, settle down, Claire. Don't get. And by the way, this is not Claire in the photo. But look at this.
Yeah.
This is a caption contest.
Oh, okay.
Huh?
All right.
That Clayton Embley said that. Yeah, I mean, you got to wonder. But maybe this was a spoof. Steve Gruber's personal PFD's personal flotation diapers. That's a pretty good caption.
Yeah, that's good.
Look at that. Lance said he saw Herb Alpert at Symphony Hall here in San Francisco, 91 and still going strong. His lip is still working. Clay Embley says bottoms up. Okay, so that, as I said, is from Clayton. I'm going to revisit that at the end of these of this segment. So if any of you want to contribute other captions to this, I think Steve Gruber's already won with personal flotation diapers.
Yes.
Now, since we are an equal opportunity show, Julia,
yes,
I thought this one you would appreciate. This is how you tell the water temperature, at least in Australia. Greg Phillips sent that. Don't you think that's funny?
Yeah.
You're not amused? No? Well, you've never had to deal with that shrinkage.
No.
Okay, we'll go back and see what other comments are. Now watch this video from the RC44 Cup that's going on, I think. Is this up in Marstrand too? That is about as close as a port tacker can get. I'll play it again.
Mm-hmm.
That's about as close as a port tacker can get going astern of a starboard tacker. Probably those starboard tackers are on the ley line into the top mark. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That was close. Okay, Ed Worley, thank you very much for sending that in. Here is Ted Ryman, a clean Ted Ryman submission, Julia.
Oh, too bad.
He looks at these windmills. I don't know where these are. It's a wind farm somewhere for generating electricity. He says, am I the only intelligent one here? This is what is needed for creating wind rather than putting propellers on. The 50-footers, you just run these in reverse. No more falling off the foot. Ted Ryman. Okay, that was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one is perfect for me. I've got 3 pairs of glasses on board, and I can't find any of them.
I know.
I don't know how many times I have, you put your glasses up on your forehead and you're running around, you're preparing the show, or you go out to the galley here at the Beach Street Yacht Club.
I can't find my glasses.
Can't find my glasses, and you have to go like, oh! Oh, there they are. That's a good one. Several of you sent that in, so thank you very much. Julia?
Yes?
You can read this if you want.
I was unfaithful to you once with some redhead in the men's room of a pool hall in 1971. I was drunk. That was me.
That's also from Greg Phillips. And now we're back to the diaper thing here. See if there's any other caption contest. Yeah, they're generating sailboat fuel. They are Sail GP fans. Fashion middle fart. Good thing they don't have backstays. Damn, we forgot the Tampax. Oh, God, Julia.
Oh.
Is that a finger wag or is that really good?
I don't know.
Huh?
I didn't give it a finger wag.
Steve Gruber says PFDs help keep your drink out of the water while floating around with a cocktail. Ed Worley says bottoms up flotation. Yeah, Clayton said the same thing, bottoms up. Well, I think we've worn that one to a frazzle. That caption. I'm sorry, but
Can't we see what happens though?
That's it. It's just an image. It's just a picture. We don't have a video, unfortunately.
I know.
Damn, Julia, we forgot the Tampax. Okay. I admit it, I'm a juvenile delinquent.
Yes.
Thanks again, Clayton and Emily, for sending that one in. Finally, we like to end this show with something decent and clean. Blake Middleton here from the US of A, his longtime contribution. All the smartest people sail. And as my dad likes to say, sailing isn't for everybody, but it is for anybody. Clark Chapin thinks personal flotation diapers was the clear winner. I'm not going to read Jody Shields' comment.
Oh.
Huh?
No.
Huh?
No.
You're not going to read that either?
No.
I think we'll skip that one. Margarita Marshall's clever. You know who Miuccia is? That's the wife of Patrizio Bertelli.
Oh.
Muccia, who's is really her family was the heart and soul of the Prada brand.
Yeah.
And then he's the business guy that's made it into a big deal. And she's saying, Margarita's saying, Muccia Bertelli, Muccia Prada is saying, this is the new trend. Maybe Prada should make some life jackets like that, some PFDs, and sell them at the next America's Cup.
Oh, no.
Julia?
No.
You're disgusted. I haven't seen you this upset in a long time. Good thing we're to the finish line for today's show because Julia's about to fall off her chair or come over here and,
well,
yeah. Hit.
I'd rather have everybody listening very carefully to like, follow, and share this program right now.
Indeed. We appreciate that. It helps us when you do that. Comments are welcome too, even in replay. And we are one of the few shows that leave the comments open in replay. We're especially appreciative of those of you who contribute to our little fund via patreon.com. Become a patron, patreon.com/join/Sailing Illustrated. Those of you who do that, thanks very much for your support. It's what keeps our streaming fees paid. It keeps us in some equipment. Yeah, we got 7 or 8 screens here, and we got 2 over there, 3 over there on Julia's desk. But that's when you're 2 of us doing a show for 2 hours with 100 slides and videos and 3 cameras and just doing it, the 2 of us, you got to have pretty good equipment. Joe Holtzman, thank you. We're happy to be back in the saddle after our brief, what did we call it? Sabbatical. It was a sabbatical indeed. And no, Julia didn't have surgery. And no, I didn't have a heart attack. We just took some time off. Right, Julia? Right, Julia?
Right.
Shout out. There's Robert McClellan, Commodore McClellan from the Royal Freshwater. I keep saying Royal Freshwater, Royal Prince Alfred in Sydney. Thanks for the shout out to World Youth Champs. Well, shout out to your team as well.
Yes.
Bravo Zulu. It was a hell of a final, apparently. I mean, you've seen the reportage. Julia, I also want to say thanks. Speaking of the keynote that has all of our videos and slides and audio in it, all of these folks contributed to let me steal from them slides and images for today. Final thoughts?
No, it's nice to be back, and it's nice to have something good to talk about.
Yeah, the sport is doing beautifully. It's not perfect, but it's the middle here of our Northern Hemisphere summer where now the days are getting shorter.
I know. I recognize it
just
getting
instantly.
Shorter. I know.
And they're starting to get longer down now in the Southern Hemisphere. And soon we'll be at the the September equinox. Before you know it.
We will.
Before you know it, when everything's equal. Okay, everybody, thanks very much. We'll see you on Tuesday. We hope in the meantime you can go sailing. And if you do, sail safe, sail fast, sail safe. I've forgotten our claim. And have fun. Ciao for now.